From a position standpoint, what are your transfer portal priorities? Position 1, 2, down the line.
Okay. Position 1, Miami's defensive line statistically did a pretty solid job, but I think we need to get more difference makers on the defensive line. So Messidor had a good job as him and Daryl Jackson as transfers from West Virginia and Maryland to Miami. They did very well. But there was also guys like Jacob Lichtenstein, guys like Messidor from UAB that were just kind of bodies. We needed more bodies. If we are able to find a way to get some, there's an offensive tackle, former 4-star from Alabama, right tackle, who's in the portal. Not saying specifically that young man, but from that culture, that level of playing, that talent, that size, will be great to bring a guy like that in. And on the fronts, being able to hold off some of these big-time 4- and 5-star guys that Coach Cristobal is bringing in on the offensive and defensive line and replace them with an older guy that has college football experience just to hold them off a little bit. That's big to me because it's like a pseudo red shirt. Let's say, for example, defensive line wise, Miami just picked up a big 6'7" defensive end who may work his way into being an elite strong side or even All-American 3 technique. Who knows? Strict conditioning. You never know. You put all that protein in their body, 230 could turn to 280 real fast with how they're maybe even in the 300s. You don't know how different metabolisms and bodies react to college strength and conditioning. I say all that to say this. On the fronts, I would love if we could hit the portal again even harder to hold off some of these big-time young guys as far as for their body-wise, their confidence-wise. You come in as this 5-star, you're expected to be this great guy. If you're able to be in a situation where someone like Chase Young, who turned out to be the 2nd overall pick, not many people knew about him until year 3 because he was behind other great older guys. Not calling anybody on our roster Nick Bosa. Not calling anybody on our roster. Is it Howell, number 6, plays for the Bengals now?
Oh, Sam Hubbard?
Hubbard, yeah.
Sam Hubbard and
no one talks about that guy. He
Draymond
was
Jones.
amazing. Yeah, Draymond Jones. No, Draymond was big. Draymond was a big, strong side. 6'5", late 200s. He was huge. He's more of a 4-eye technique at the National Football level. But at Ohio State, I loved watching him play both because on early downs, he was inside, and sometimes he would go outside if they had a lighter tackle at right tackle. There were other instances on early downs he was on outside and moved inside. Coach Larry Johnson is a hero of mine. I love that guy. Great defensive line coach. But again, blabbering on to say this. First position is going to be in the fronts. I don't care if we're talking about nose, if we're talking centers, guards, tackles, defensive ends, defensive tackles. We need pure edge rushers. If we're able to get some people that are going to hit that portal that just so happen to not be happy where they were, but were great producers, bring it in. Secondary, Miami lost within the last week. Miami has lost a former starting safety in Avante, a rotational safety in Al Blaze Jr., a linebacker safety hybrid in Gilbert Frierson, a linebacker safety hybrid in Avery Huff, and a safety in Jalen Harrell. So our back end is going to need some more bodies. The guys we have on the roster, some of them are pretty talented. Oh, and Tyreek Stevenson said he's going to head to the NFL draft. What do you have? A bunch of very talented, and we got the second best non-quarterback player in the country coming in Kermani McLean in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks committing and signing with Miami. And he'll be there in January, early enrollee. But even then, that's a freshman. If we were able to find a way to get some talented guy out there. And I would definitely emphasize the speed, Mark. The size, I get it. You want to see the 6'1", long arm guys, I get it. But if he's a Blazer and he just so happens to be 5'10", or just so happens to be 5'11", bring him in. Because we need speed in that secondary if we're going to be a man coverage secondary like we were this past year.